Member from Timiskaming Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. It's once again an honour to be able to speak about agriculture in this House and to respond to the Minister of Aboriginal Affairs and his comments on G40, the Agriculture Insurance Act. I'd like to make a couple comments. Basically, the other provinces signed on to this in 2003. And so we're 10 years behind on looking at what crops we can insure. And in his response, in his comments, he said there would be no immediate financial impact to the province. And that is true, because this bill alone, although it changes the wording, doesn't actually increase the coverage for any farmer in this province. Not one iota. Nothing. It allows us to go further and talk about increasing coverage, but it in itself doesn't. Because under the Crop Insurance Act, the old Crop Insurance Act, the province kicked in 24% of the cost of the program on those crops. So if we're going to insure more agricultural products, which we fully support, and we're going to use the same framework, then the province has to kick in 24%. And the kicker is going to be, where is that 24%, so many millions of dollars, going to come from? So if they're just planning on taking these so many millions of dollars from another agricultural program, actually farmers and the agriculture community could be suffering a net loss of coverage instead of a net gain. So while we fully support the changes in the wording, Speaker, the devil is in the details of how these programs are going to be funded. Because when the minister said there's no financial impact, that means there is no benefit to farmers. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Member from Timiskaming Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. Once again, an honour to speak on agriculture and to follow the member of Nipissing. And in his remarks, he did a very accurate portrayal of agriculture in Northern Ontario, specifically the New Liskeard Research Station. What happened at the New Liskeard Research Station a few years ago, it was under threat of closure, and a group of farmers from across the north came together, made a board, and are working with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food to try and keep that as a viable operation, because the conditions in the north are much different than other parts of the province. That's one of the reasons why our area is so good. It's such a good area for growing canola, because our conditions are different than the rest of the province, and that's why we are looking for ways to combat pests like the Swede midge. And that's why, you know, something we haven't talked about enough in this legislature, but that's why we need to have the discussion about neonicotinoid insecticides, because canola is one of the crops that depends on neonicotinoid insecticides. So it's a viable, it's an important discussion, and there will be two sides to this discussion, as there always is. But it's important that we come to the middle. And I'd also like to commend the member for bringing up the Amish contribution to Northern Ontario, because in my riding as well, they are coming, and they are using land that had been dormant for many years. They use, because their farming practices are much different, they have the capability of using land that sometimes is overlooked by modern commercial agriculture, simply because of the size of the field. One thing I would like to remark in this legislature is, while we're talking about production insurance, and something a lot of people don't know, that the Amish population does not participate in any Ontario production insurance program. Thank you.
Thank you.